What's up, people? This is William Jones doing videos on leaving religion. These videos are designed to make you think, to turn your brains on, start to use logic and reason, and realize the obvious, that religion is not real. It's just a mind game. It really is just a mind game. Now, for this subject, the title of this subject, this video, what I want to say is, it's about being a child of God. That's what we're talking about. Being a child of God. Now we're going to let's use simple logic. And just for the record, today is March, I rarely date them, Tuesday, March 27th. It's actually 2:48 a.m. in the morning. I get off late at night, so that's the cause for that. So let's talk about being a child of God. People, I'm a child of God, I'm a child of God. Let's talk about actually being a child of someone. There's a lot of misconceptions about real children and religious children that don't seem to line up. They really don't seem to line up at all. Because, you know, people are like, oh, God made us. I was made to worship you and I was made to praise you. My children don't worship me. They don't praise me. They don't have call me, don't have text me. I'm like God. They totally ignore me, pretty much, until they need something. Then I hear from them, then I have to be God. But nobody really has children to be their slaves. Ooh, let's have some children to praise us and worship us and tell us how great we are. Nobody does that crap. It's going to be just the opposite. When you have children, your life is consumed taking care of their life. That's how it goes. That's how it works. So this religious thing about God made us to praise him. If God was here by himself, so-called, by your theology, he's always been here. There was nobody here. It was just him. So now he has a need. I have a need to be praised. I have a need to be worshiped. Let me create some beings to tell me how great I am. Yeah, right. You know, so we don't have children to, yeah, we might get the occasional, hey, you come here. Turn the channel. Hey, you go give me a beer. Something like that. But on the whole, as far as children praising and worship you, they don't pay you no mind. Next, if I'm going to be a child of God, I'm a child of my mother. And I use my mother because I didn't grow up really with my father, so my mother was there. Now, let me talk about being a child of my mother. There's nothing I had to do to be her child. Like, I got to act a certain way because I'm her child. Whether I was good, whether I was bad, I was her child. That was the bottom line. I didn't have to act or do anything to be her child. I was her child regardless. Look, irregardless. I was her child. So we, like, you know, people talk about you being a Christian. I'm a child of God, and you have to act a certain way. It's all about acting. Church is all about acting. Because people act this way in church, and they smoking weed, later drinking beer, liquor, going to the club, having sex or everything else, whatever. But when you get around all other saints, you gotta act holy, which holy is really not. Holy is non-existent until you bring it to the fairy tale book. But if you're gonna be a child of someone, why do you have to act a certain way to be the child of? You are the child of, again, irregardless, right? Some folks are like, irregardless. Regardless of the fact you're their child, okay? Look. And if it's my mom, if I'm a child of my mother, I'm going to tell you like this. If I ask my mother for something, she's going to do it. It's not a matter of, oh, that's not what's best for you. Because I wouldn't ask her no stupid crap anyway. So she's going to do it. And I'll tell you another thing about parents. Parents would not put sickness on their children. If any real parent had a way of preventing their child from being sick, their child would never be sick. If they had a way of protecting their child always, the child would always be protected. No child would put their child, no parent would put their child in danger for the child to prove their loyalty to the parent. Think how stupid that sounds. God is testing me. Parents don't do that mess. I taught him how to cross the street. Now let's see if he really know how to cross the street without me there. He better do it right, he gonna get hit. No parent gonna do that. No. Parents don't do that. That's imaginary stuff in your head, doing that. Real parents do not put their real children in real danger. But there is danger in the real world, and there is no imaginary God to protect you from such. It's even in the Bible they talk about where it says that the angels are in heaven and they behold the faces of the children, all that mess. So people are like, oh, the angels watching over the children. Children getting snatched, shaken to death, beat to death by the boyfriends of mothers, by the mothers themselves, putting them in the cars and drowning them. And we can go through the list of things that parents have done and have killed children. And if the angels were there, guess what the angels did? Absolutely nothing. They watched as the child was murdered. We have children being beaten to death, children being cooked in ovens, microwaves, children being sexually molested, and the angels have done absolutely nothing. Now, you as a parent, especially if you are a parent, are you going to sit by and watch this happen to your child? For a test? For a test? No. I, for one, won't. Not with my children. No, if I see anything coming in my children, a real parent will give their life for the children. They will protect their children at the cost of their own lives. They do not test their children by putting their lives on the line. You don't give your child cancer or some type of kidney malfunction or some type of tumor to make them prove they love you. That's insane. That is insane. Real parents don't do that. So understand, in the real world, there are real sicknesses and there is no real God to heal them. That's why we have doctors. And you can say whatever you want to say, oh, God healed them, but I will guarantee you went to a doctor and got a diagnosis and you went through all the stuff that doctors do. You did not just go to church. Nobody goes to church. You call 911. You call the ambulance. You go to the hospital. Church becomes secondary. It's secondary. I'm a child of God. I don't want to hear that crap. That's some foolishness. Because if you're a child, you got to act like something or whatever. Because if you're the child of somebody, even if you are the worst thing, you're still the child of. Doesn't matter. You are their child. Irregardless. Right? Come on. Use logic in this situation. No parent puts their child in dangerous situations. Not at all. I know I wouldn't. And I don't know any real parents that would. And then the Bible lies. And it says in the New Testament in James that God tests no man, but God tempts no man, but every man is tempted of his own lust when he's enticed and all this other stuff. You know, I had to put it on the screen if I put it up there, right? But God clearly tempted and tested Abraham to sacrifice Isaac to see if he was really down with the program. But if you're an all-knowing God, why are you testing somebody if you know everything? Unless you don't, and it's just a story. God changes all through the Bible. Why? Because it was written through time by different people, and God continues to fluctuate because he's not real. He's a character. Satan is just an angel with no power, because I don't know who has an enemy if we in a fight. Can I hit you with a right jab? No. Okay. Could I hit you with a left jab? No. Okay. You can graze me though. All right, I can graze you. I can only do what you tell me to do. I ain't your enemy. If you have as much power over me and I'm your enemy to tell me what I can and can't do, I'm not your enemy. I'm your servant. That's what I am. In the Bible, especially the Old Testament, Satan is not an enemy. Satan is just another angel who's doing what God told him to do. Satan had nothing to do with flooding the entire world. But see, if Satan had flooded the entire world, killing everybody, all Satan's so evil. God does it, you justify it. Well, God knew what was right and whatever. He killed everybody over a mistake that he made. God repented that he made man. So you didn't know this before you made them? He's incompetent. Or he's just a story character in a book. That's why he doesn't answer your prayers. That's why you only hear God when you're by yourself. Because God is you. You hear God when you're by yourself because God is you. But when you're in the sanctuary, he's not talking to all of y'all the same word. And watch this. If you are a child of God, like my mother, if I want to talk to my mother, I call my mother. Hey, mama, hey. And me and my mother, we talk one-on-one. We talk. If I want to know anything about my mother, I go to my mother. I don't go to somebody else for them to tell me about my mother. My father passed away in 2004. My father was a Vietnam vet. My father was on the teams that kicked in the doors and killed everybody in the house. He was 18 years old. And like everybody else's father who went to Vietnam War, yes, it messed him up because he was only 18. The only father I ever knew was the one after the fact of Vietnam War. And I heard about the things that he did. Everybody told me stories and everything. And I saw my father here and there and I talked to him. But when I was growing in my 30s, I talked to him and I said, Pop, I want to hear the stories from you. I'm grown now, so you tell me. He was like, yeah, I killed people. Yeah, I still dream about it. Yes, you never forget these things. But he told me this, I'm your son. Why do I have to hear it from an aunt, from an uncle, from a grandparent, from my mother? I want to hear it from you. I finally went to my pop when he was dying and said, I want to hear it from you. And he told me his Vietnam stories about what had happened. So if you are a child of God, why do you got to go to a third party to hear about your parent? Why can't you go straight to them? If you are really a child of God, why does a pastor have to teach you about your parent? Ain't nobody got to teach me about none of my parents. If I want to know about my mother, my father, my grandmothers, grandfathers, especially when they were alive, I go to them when they were alive. Now, if you can't go directly to your parent, one, your parent is either dead or doesn't exist. But if you got to go to church every Sunday to hear about your father, your heavenly father, he's imaginary. You got to have somebody else lay hands on you for your parent to do something for you? Imaginary. Because if me and my mama need to do anything together, we do it between us on a phone call or whatever. If we need to send money, whatever, we send money. Or we need to exchange information, we exchange information. But I don't have to have any outside person, some middleman, come between me and my mother to exchange information. Anything I want to know about her, I can go to her and I'll know it. Anything she want to do to me, do for me, she does it for me directly. We don't have some middleman who I don't know got to tell me about you. So the fact that you got to go to church every Sunday or in Bible study every Wednesday to hear about your parent should show you how false it is. Telling you what God did. I know what my parents did. I know about their high schools. I know about before I was conceived. I know about what happened when I was a baby and wasn't old enough to happen. I know these things because I can go directly to my parent. But if you can't do that and you got to go to a pastor, some bishop, prophet, apostle, teacher to hear about your parent and they are alive, they ain't your parent. Just that simple. That's how fake religion is. They got it, and then you got to give money for a product that does not exist, has no guarantees, no warranties. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You'll get yours when you die. And come on, let me put this on the video so I remember myself. I'm gonna do one about faith, because faith only works in religion, with nothing else. I'm just trying to tell you, if I want to talk to my mom, I'll call my mom. Well, your creator, I came out of her. Her and my father made me. That's where I come from. If I want to talk to my creator, I can call my creator on the cell phone. I talk to my mom all the time. That's my creator. That's my God. You want to talk about a higher power? She's higher than me because I submit to her. She's my mother. That's my creator. You're talking about a God. God is a concept. Creator is something different. Y'all keep mingling God and creator in the same thing. Creator and God is not the same thing. If somebody created the earth, it's all well and good. Have they stepped forward and said, I'm the creator, worship me? No. Only in your books and literature have you seen that for separate religions, but you haven't seen it for yourself. Nobody approached you and said, I'm the creator, now worship me and do whatever. No, you were taught that from birth to follow your religion. Nobody approached you with that. That's the God stuff. Creator don't care. Who is creator? You don't know. But you're a child of God. I'm a child of God. I'm a child of my mom no matter what I do. If somebody went and shot up a whole place and killed everybody, they still the child of their parent. Irregardless of what they did. So let me go ahead and end this video right here. I'm done with it. Peace.